What's up, everybody? It's me, Crosspatch. Welcome back to my Madden 21 Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. This video is a recap of the 2024 regular season. We just finished it up. We had another great season, finished 16-0, number one seed in the AFC, and that's kind of status quo for our team at this point, 5 seasons into this franchise. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the playoffs. We'll take a look at player progression, player stats, awards, and talk about the future of this franchise a little bit with Madden 22 looming on the horizon. What is going to be coming up over the next couple months before that launches. So we'll take a look at the playoff bracket here. I did sim forward to the divisional round. I said last game that I had hoped to see Kansas City in the playoffs, but that's not going to happen. They lost to the Chargers, and so we'll be facing the Bengals. And then if we get past them, the winner of the Chargers and Colts. And on the NFC side, we've got Green Bay and Washington, San Francisco and Dallas. It'd be nice to see Dallas again. It's just a fun rivalry. We played them in last year's Super Bowl. It'd be kind of cool to have a rematch. But we'll see what happens. So, are we going to win the Super Bowl again? We've won 4 so far. The odds are we're probably going to win it again. But hey, we'll see what happens. You never know. So we'll take a look at some of our player stats here. And start with Dakota Cavanaugh. 5,291 yards passing. 74 touchdown passes. So this is why we talked about shortening up the quarters. That's something I'm going to do for the upcoming season. Shorten up the quarters. These stats are getting out of control. The scores are getting out of control. So Cavanaugh probably is still going to be putting up MVP numbers, even with the shorter quarters going forward. But this is getting a little ridiculous. 74 touchdown passes. I mean, it's fun, but a little bit out of control. And Brad Corr in a mop-up role here had a decent season, at least ratings-wise. So happy with his performance. On the ground, James Conner again was our main ball carrier. Over 1,100 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns. Juan Cobb tried to get him involved a little bit more this season. He did okay. I think we're going to be looking at, if this season goes past this franchise goes past another season, probably looking at drafting another halfback to take Connor's place. He's only got 1 more year on his contract, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Receiving core again was outstanding. Claypool 108 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 32 touchdowns. Smith-Schuster almost 1,500 yards and 26 touchdowns. And again, our tight end Clay Peterson, over 1,000 yards. So we again had 3 receivers with over 1,000 yards. And kind of our breakout guy here was J.J. Lowry, 95 speed rookie. He did have a breakout scenario to get him up to superstar throughout the season, but he has that hidden dev trait. So I assume we're not going to see that until after the season, maybe, or maybe just prior to the Super Bowl if we get there. And Deontay Johnson, kind of the forgotten guy in this offense. I kind of regret signing him to a long-term deal. Not because he's not a good receiver, but just because there are so many other good receivers in this offense. I feel like he probably could have been a star on another team rather than having a background role on this team. Defensively, Minka Fitzpatrick led us in tackles. Bush with 90, Fitzpatrick with 99. TJ Watt with 18.5 sacks on the season, and that is pretty impressive considering he missed 4 games with an injury. Bush with 16.5, and interceptions are kind of tough for us to come by, but Terrell Edmonds had 6, Fitzpatrick had 5, and some of our other cornerbacks, just a little smattering of them here and there. Our awful field goal kicker, not because of him, but because of my own skills here. 90 of 94 extra points. I guess that's not terrible. That's not good, but could have been worse. We only kicked 2 field goals throughout the season, and we punted 6 times. So Jack Graham got out there a little bit. I have him kicking off too, so he has something to do at least. So there's our stats on the season. like I said, a little bit out of control. We're going to be using those shorter quarters going forward. Hopefully with Madden 22 as well, just so we don't get in this situation again. And as far as awards, yearly awards, Dakota Cavanaugh, again, MVP. Second year in the league, second year he won the MVP. And Mike Tomlin, Coach of the Year, 16-0. So, Cavanaugh again, best quarterback. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Offensive Player of the Year. And Claypool took the 6th spot on that. Smith-Schuster, the mention at the 10th spot. Defensive Player of the Year, Devin Bush. Fitzpatrick all the way down at number 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year, J.J. Lowry. I'd say he deserves that. He had a heck of a season for a rookie. Had we not had so many other good receivers, he certainly could have served as a starter on this team. But, you know, we'll see what his future brings. We've got a lot of good receivers on this team, like I said. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we had any. Best quarterback is Cavanaugh. Best running back, Connor all the way down at number 4. Nick Chubb took that award. Best wide receiver, Claypool. Smith-Schuster, the top 2. Hunter Renfrow in 3rd place, interestingly. And that's all of our mentions there. Best offensive lineman, we have Dalton Harris. Jay McPhee with mentions. Quentin Nelson took that award. And Brian Bowles, the rookie, we'll talk about in a little bit when we look at the roster, with a mention there. Best defensive lineman, nobody. Best linebacker, Devin Bush. And no mention of Watt with 18.5. Oh, no, there he is. I'm sorry. Number 3, TJ Watt. Best defensive back, Edmonds. That's the number 2 spot. Fitzpatrick, number 4. Best kicker, Chris Boswell, despite my missing 4 extra points with him. And so there we go. There are our awards. And we could take a look at our roster now and the player progression. I know that's something that's interesting that people have commented on, wanting to see the progression of some of the players. So we'll take a look at our roster. I'll show you where these guys are with their attributes and everything here. Dakota Cavanaugh, Superstar X Factor, 97 throw power, 99 deep accuracy, 98 medium accuracy with the with the boost to it there, the morale boost. 81 throw on the run, 85 break stack, 98 throw under pressure. So he's coming along real good. He has a little bit of speed, which is nice as well. So he is certainly a formidable weapon at quarterback. We're lucky to draft him. In my offline franchise, the one that I don't record for YouTube, I took a 60-some overall quarterback and built him into a quarterback that's actually better than Cavanaugh here. His ratings are better. I'm a little further along in that franchise as well. So you don't have to start with a high overall guy to end up with a great quarterback. You can take those 60 overall guys and put them through the reps on the field, put them in good situations, and they'll develop. It'll take a little while, but they will develop to superstar X Factor quarterbacks. James Conner, another superstar X Factor. Got Wrecking Ball on him. I should have shown the abilities for Cavanaugh as well. So I've got Wrecking Ball, Bulldozer, and Reachford on Connor. You can see his attributes there. Break tackle. Speed I wish was a little higher, but the trucking's up there, the carrying's up there. He is always trying to find another solution for Connor, but he always seems to be the guy. So Cavanaugh, I've got a Gambler on him, Inside Deadeye, Pocket Deadeye, Fearless, Gunslinger, and Protected. If anybody's interested. We don't carry a fullback. Wide receivers, again, superstar X Factors across the board. I can't upgrade Smith-Schuster anymore. He's a 99 overall. And take a look at his ratings. His speed is 93. I think the later roster updates had Smith-Schuster knock down a few spots, a few pegs with his speed rating, which is unfortunate. So he's up to 93 in this franchise with a couple of speed upgrades throughout the years. But you can see where he is with everything else. 99's all over the place. We can't upgrade him anymore. And on all my receivers, I have double me, route technician, and wide receiver apprentice. Those are the three things I put on all of them. And Claypool, same thing. Superstar X Factor, a little bit faster than Smith-Schuster, but he's getting up there with those 99 ratings as well. Deontay Johnson, Superstar X Factor, not quite as athletic as the other two guys, but still, like I said, a great receiver. I really regret signing him for that long-term deal. I guess I could trade him, but I'd be eating his cap room for a few years. So I kind of don't want to do that. We'll keep him as a good slot receiver. And then I've got J.J. Lowry, who did have that superstar outbreak scenario, but still he's got a hidden dev trait for some reason. So we will see what he ends up as. 95 speed, 92 acceleration. So we've got 4 great receivers on this team. And we've got a great tight end in Clay Peterson. Superstar X Factor tight end. 86 speed. You can take a look at his attributes there. 91 acceleration. And on him I have double me, reach for it, and route apprentice. You can only have 3 of these X Factors anyway, but Jay McPhee, our starting left tackle, I signed him to a long-term deal this past season. He's coming along fine. He's a star. He's still pretty young, 24 years old. I feel like he's been around a long time, but he was part of that first draft class that we had. Dalton Harris, still only 23 years old. Normal development, but he's up to 88 with the morale there. Pretty good ratings you can see there. He's coming along. And one of my regrets with this franchise is I'm not going to be able to see what these guys look like 10 years into their careers. This won't be the time for it by the time Madden 22 comes out. Will Wise took over as our starting center last season and then kind of lost his job and got it back again this season. So he's a project. He's up and coming. Star development. And, still pretty young. 24 years old. This guy here, too, Thomas Harris, is interesting. He's got a hidden dev trait. Not quite sure what to do with him. Only 21 years old. I have him parked at center right now, but I don't know the center is the ideal position for him. Karma Barton, a rookie that we picked up this season. Normal dev trait, but some pretty good ratings. Coming along. Good speed. 75 speed for a guard. 83 acceleration. John Keller, part of our first draft class. We're going to be letting him go, unfortunately. He just has not quite panned out the way I would like him to. His skills are pretty much on par with this guy here, Brian Bowles. But Bowles is a rookie and has a lot of upside to him at this point. You can see he's a superstar. That was a trait he developed throughout the season. So we're going to be letting go. We've got post up, and he still has an ability slot to unlock. But we'll be letting Keller go. His contract's up. Left end, we've got TJ Phillips. He's played well in a couple seasons we had him. He bumped up to star development throughout the season. Take a look at his attributes there. And right end, we still have Cam Hayward. He is unfortunately injured. We did throw a bunch of money at him for a 1-year contract, hoping to keep him around for another season. He is still a pretty decent player. Not quite what he was in his best of times, but still a good player. And we've got under pressure and reach a lead on him. But he's going to miss the playoffs. He's not going to, I think he's going to miss the entire playoffs. So that's unfortunate. Defensive tackle, we have David Wiggins. First draft choice ever in this franchise. Years and years ago. Star development, he's coming along. Ortega is his backup. We do need to draft another defensive tackle because I don't know that Ortega is the guy here. But he plays okay when we need him to. Left outside linebacker, of course, TJ Watt. Everybody knows who he is. You can take a look at his attributes. I think underrated in this game, but whatever, he plays really well. And I've got Fearmonger on him, as well as under pressure and edge threat. Now, if I had a couple of other X-Factor guys on my defense, I would put Selfless on him because he goes into the zone more than anybody, really, with the way he gets sacks. So putting Selfless on him would put my other guys into their zone as well. But since he's the only X-Factor I have on my defense, we have Fearmonger on him for now. Justin Ford's a guy I've been talking about re-signing. He's going to be playing defensive tackle for, I mean, I don't know. He's so undersized, but as far as ratings go, he's my best option to play that defensive end position for Hayward in the playoffs. But at the same time, I don't think I'm going to re-sign him in the offseason. I think he's going to be too expensive for a backup is what it's going to come down to. And I have a feeling I'll immediately regret that next season when a linebacker or a defensive end gets hurt and I'm going to need him. My two my two middle linebackers here. Devin Bush is a 99 overall. Only a star development. I don't know what I got to do to get a breakout scenario for this guy. Maybe too late in his career at this point. But I don't know how he's not made it up to superstar. Kind of a bummer. But he plays pretty well, so I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but Chris Hayes, our other inside linebacker, he's coming along. 88 speed. He's been a good one so far in our franchise. Right outside linebacker, Derek Lindsey. He's a superstar. He was last year's Super Bowl MVP. And, I was looking for that bookend opposite TJ Watt, and he has filled that role very well. At corner, we continue to look for answers. We've got a whole bunch of kind of mediocre corners. Barkley. Isaac is up to star development, but it doesn't really seem to matter. Walls. Yeah, none of these guys, Goodrich, none of these guys have quite panned out the way I had hoped they would. So we're going to be drafting for a corner. And once again, hoping for the best. Fitzpatrick has been outstanding in this franchise. I've got Acrobat and Pick Artist on him. Let's see his ratings. And Terrell Edmonds has been surprisingly good. I signed him to a long-term deal a few seasons ago because I was so concerned about how weak we were at the cornerback position, and I didn't want to draft another subpar defensive back at safety and have yet another issue in our defensive secondary. So we signed Edmonds. I wasn't sure if I should, and I'm pretty glad I did. He ended up as a star development. He's 86 overall, good speed, gets a lot of interceptions, forces fumbles. Good player to hang on to in this franchise. Our kicker, Chris Boswell, is sort of reaching the end of his usefulness, I think. I keep re-signing him for these $2+ million deals, just because I have the cap room for him, but we may be looking for a long-term kicker next, or maybe not, I don't know. And Jack Graham, our punter, the loneliest guy in the NFL. We do let him kick off so he has something to do every game. But otherwise, he's pretty bored generally during games. And so that's it. People have been asking for a look. Well, a couple of people anyway have been asking for a look at our roster and where they stand with their attributes. So if I went a little bit too far into that, I apologize. But just wanted to give people a look. If there's anybody else you want to have any questions about, just let me know in the comments. So this franchise going forward, we do have Madden 22 coming out. I figure I've got so we've got the 2 playoff games. Then I'm gonna do a couple of videos about my drafting process and my free agent process in the off season, which is another thing that a couple of people have asked about. So I'll do those 2 videos, and then I think we're probably only gonna have one more season of this franchise until Madden 22 comes out. But that is a little bit sad because we'll have to say goodbye to some of these guys who have been so great. Dakota Kavanaugh, I will never know what happens to him after the age of 23. Same with some of these other guys, which is kind of a bummer. But on the positive side, Madden 22 will be out. We will start our Steelers franchise all over again with brand new excitement and expectation. And we hope Madden 22 is going to be good so that we are not disappointed. But I'm optimistic. I think it'll be fun. And we'll see what happens. So that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've been enjoying this franchise, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. I'm trying to grow this channel. Started back in November. And yeah, it's kind of a tough slog building up a YouTube channel. But, you know, just doing things that are fun to me. And hopefully they're fun to watch. And if they are, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Whatever you decide to do, I hope you have a great day. And I will see you in the playoffs.